Hi, everyone. I'm Kathy Vertilli from theintimacydojo.com here with Betty Martin from bettymartin.org. And Betty has great insight into how people can have more intimacy and connection in really powerful ways. Some of it's really subtle, but it makes just a delightful difference. So, Betty, what is the difference between receiving and being done to?
That's a great question. This is really interesting thing when it comes to touch, because we use the word receive to mean two very different things. But then we conflate them and they seem the same to us, but they're entirely different.
Okay.
One use of the word receive means there's a gift and it's for you and you want it.
Yes.
And it could be in any form. It could be a back rub. It could be doing a favor for me. It could be letting me come over and pick the peaches out of your yard. It could be helping me move my piano, lots of things. But what makes it receiving is that it's for me, that I want it.
Okay.
And the other thing is that you are happy and willing to give it. So it's not something I'm stealing, right?
Okay.
So that's one meaning. It's for me and I want it and it's a present for me. The other way we use the word means something happens to you or just moves in your direction.
Okay.
But you may not actually want it. So you can receive a pass to the 20-yard line. You can receive a traffic ticket. You can receive a massage. You can also receive a blow on the head and a punch in the belly. You
Yes.
can receive a compliment, and you can also receive an insult.
Yes.
And you can be on the receiving end of a grope or something that you don't want.
Yes.
So what characterizes that way that we use the word receive is that it happens to you or it moves toward you, whether you want it or not.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with whether you want it. You might not want it at all. You know, when you're a kid and great Aunt Mabel wants to give you a big old kiss and your mom says, you have to receive the kiss, Well, you don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see you as an adult, too. You could receive a kiss as a gift that you really wanted or receive a kiss because it headed your way.
That's right. That's right. And so when I have made quite a study of touch and these questions, but when you talk about touch with your partner, we're rarely talking about actual touch that's terrible and odious and violent, and that's a different topic.
Hopefully, yes.
But talking about touch that people, my lover touches me this way, and I guess it's okay. I kind of like it. I don't know. I guess he's doing it because he likes to do it. If it was for me, I'd do it the way I wanted it. There's this big, muddy, confusing place around how we actually want to be touched.
Yeah,
And who's it actually for?
Yeah, that's confusing because are they pleasing themselves or are they trying to please me and they just don't know that that's not my favorite way?
Right. And what I'm not saying is that you should never touch someone just because you want to. That's not true, and we'll talk about that in another one of these calls. But what I'm saying here is that when you're being touched, if you start questioning who it's actually for, or even when you are touching, who's it actually for?
Yeah.
There's some interesting ways to start noticing what's going on. I had a colleague call me a couple years back because I was teaching this to other hands-on professionals, and he called me and he said, boy, Betty, I know that you're kind of big on this receiving thing, and can I just ask you a question? I said, sure. He says, well, I have a new girlfriend, and she really likes to go down on me. Yeah. But it really, it doesn't really quite do it for me. And so what I'm hoping is that I can learn to be a better receiver.
Mm.
So
in that case, he was being done to.
He was being done to. So really what he was asking is, how can I be better at liking what I don't like? Really, that's That's what he was asking. And there's no answer. The answer is ask for what you do like. But it's a great example of how he was confusing the two meanings of receive.
Well, I think
the difficulty is if I believe that everything that happens to me I'm receiving, therefore it's supposed to be for me, therefore I'm supposed to like it. If I don't like it, then who do I blame? Either me or you. And neither of those is useful. You need to communicate. Yeah.
And if I was clear that I was doing it, I was being done to please someone else, and I made that choice, it might not be as difficult as if I was thinking I'm supposed to be enjoying this, kind of beating myself up. Why am I not enjoying this? Why am I not responding?
Yeah, exactly.
That really cleans things up. How do you recommend people start working with this one? Like, if someone's touching you and you're not sure if they're touching you to please themselves or to please you, how do you bring up that conversation?
Oh, boy. Well, my way is just to ask, is this for me or is this for you? But I realize I'm more direct than most people.
Yeah.
The suggestion that we gave in one of the other videos was to start asking each other, how would you like me to touch you?
Yeah.
And in another video, we'll talk about another variation of that too. But it's always more difficult to communicate or question any of that when you're already in the thick of it, particularly if you're naked and you're turned on and you're rolling around. Unfortunately, that's when it's the hardest to communicate, and certainly the hardest to actually confront anyone.
Well, and someone could take it really wrong if you're like, is this for you? Because it's not for me.
Right, and mostly people think that everything they're doing is for the other person.
Yes.
Pretty much. I mean, I coach couples a lot, and we'll be doing some touch exercises and stuff, and even the simplest things, we're all closed, but one of them will think it's, she'll think it's for him and he'll think it's for her, and neither of them really know. And I've been in that place myself, and I hope to never be there again, frankly.
You're right. It's very muddy, and there's that kind of guilt, obligation feeling, like I've been touching you all this time. Aren't you going to touch me the way I want to be touched?
Right.
And instead of a clean, like I'm really enjoying this kind of feeling.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'd love to talk with you more on this on some other videos.
You bet.
Thanks very much, Betty.
You bet. Thanks.
Please leave comments below. Let us know what you think. What questions do you have? Does this make sense? Does this help? We want to know what you're thinking. Thanks very much.